Hello, folks. Hey, me make sure my other devices are caught up to everything here, and
Market Breaker 19, this is Rubber Duck. You got a copy on me, Pigpen?
keep that doggone pig pen at the back of the pack. Dang on it.
Pigpen, where you at? Omaha. They don't know what to do with them hogs out there.
So I see three hiding in the shadows, and I think one of those is me.
Interesting.
Yeah,
that's right. I can't comment. That's right. I can't comment unless I'm the mock master. So I gotta open up another window so I can have it in there.
Okay. Don't forget it. Or do you want to say hi to everybody? She says, "No, you threw my toy away." Okay,
how's everybody doing tonight?
All hail Queen of the North, who is a little under the weather. So please throw a prayer her way. I would appreciate it. I'm sure she will too.
Ooh, wow.
What?
When I just popped up to pull it up, yours was number one on my YouTube search suggestions here. Number two was.
Oh wait, which number one are we talking? We're talking this number one or the read between the line number one?
So
thanks.
If you look down there, you're the first one on the list here of recommended ones, all recommendations.
So I'm
second one was Good Simple Living here in Idaho, and theirs is food shortage coming.
Well, we're going to kind of discuss part of that this evening.
Yeah. If I can get this to work.
Nope, it ain't working.
Oh, and asymmetrical preparedness is the fifth one down. Is stockpile food now.
Gee. See, I wasn't going to bring all that doom and gloom. I was just going to talk facts.
Yeah.
I'm not going to perpetuate stereotypes or anything else. I'm going to talk about the real deal. How do I know so much? I spent just about 30 years in delivering and understanding the supply chain. But Mr. Gill, the kind gentleman that he is, found some history for y'all.
Now, give me 1 second here. And but before I start saying that, when I was growing up, and from the time I was about 8 years old, and actually before then, but both my parents took a leave from the Teamsters Union. They were both gold card Teamsters from 66 through 75. And let me move this over here and throw this. Yeah. Okay, I got my notes up so I can start talking on it.
Okay.
All right. So
I'm gonna go full screen so y'all can read along as he yippity yaps. There we go.
Okay. Let's get this back over here. Yeah. All right. So this is a History Channel article about about what happened in December 1973. Little history that's not all mentioned in here. In 73 was when Nixon resigned and Gerald Ford became president. So this was going into Gerald Ford taking over right now. Also going along the same time was the problems what OPEC was doing because of our support for Israel, but that's down here in the next one here. So at 10 o'clock on December 3rd, 1973, a 37-year-old trucker from Overland Park, Kansas, named J.W. Edwards stopped his rig suddenly in the middle of Interstate 80 near Blaisky, Pennsylvania, picked up his CB radio microphone. The insurrection he was about to start is now famous. Is now using his famous river rat handle. I'm misreading here. Okay, so I guess I'm trying to keep along here quick. And it'll elevate all truckers to full hero status and stuff. Edwards was beyond frustrated and scared for his livelihood. His job hauling meat from the Midwest to New York had become an agonizing slog because of the oil embargo levied by the Middle Eastern Petroleum Group. At 10 p.m. on that day, he oh wait a minute, it did a double copy here on me. I hate it when I do a copy paste that does it wrong.
Go down to
Oil
Edwards.
producing cartel against the United States for the support of Israel. It had dramatically jacked up diesel fuel prices with ration imposed. He was stopping at every virtual filling station along his route. Worse still, the federal government was considering nationalizing, a national maximum speed limit of 55 miles an hour. Now, some states like California have always been for trucks 55 miles an hour, but Vegas is whatever Nevada is whatever the posted speed limit is, whether it's 65, 70, 75, whatever it is, that's what trucks do as well. In Idaho, the maximum is 70, unless you got a lighter, smaller truck, then you can do 80. For long haul drivers, time lost meant money lost. And oil geopolitics had made Edwards' $12,000 a year job even more precarious. Near Blakesley, his tank reached empty, out of fuel and full of frustration. That truckers being forgotten were the forgotten little guys in the global fuel wars. Edwards decided on the spot to take a CB and make some noise. It talks about how the article talks about CB radio and blah 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 blah. Talks about slang names and stuff, and talks about police became smoky bears or smoky bears for state troopers. It's because they wore the campaign hats. A lot of them did. Okay. The protest goes national. As other truckers stopped to help Edwards, he broadcast via CB that he was blocking the interstate to protest high gas prices, limited fuel supply, and the proposed speed limit. Instantly, he found sympathy. One trucker stated, if a man is going to be broke, he might as well go broke sitting still. Others with handles like Flying Dutchman, Captain Zag soon joined in. Within an hour, hundreds of rigs came to a halt on I-80. The action paralyzed more than 1,000 vehicles in a jam that extended 12 miles in both directions. News of River Rat's protest spread, and within hours, truckers demonstrations peppered the national highways, with thousands slowing or stopping their vehicles, snarling traffic for miles. By December 4th, more than 10 states saw demonstrations by angry drivers who demanded to be heard by the federal government and weren't afraid to hold up their deliveries to do so. One quipped, and here's the funny part, one quipped that he didn't think Congress would act until those people ran out of toilet paper. Yes.
TP.
Now you know why people snag TP during any disaster. They're afraid it's not going to get out anymore. The vast majority of dissenting truckers were independents who owned and operated their vehicles, unlike unionized Teamsters who typically hauled for large shipping companies. Independents hauled about 70% of the country's freight, according to the Interstate Commerce Commission estimates. Most had their entire lives mortgaged into their expensive rigs and had the most to lose from the embargo. Ironically, River Rat Edwards was not an owner-operator himself.
Okay, just for a bit of backdrop on that, I don't know if you guys realize, but a standard tractor, just a tractor itself, to go out and buy a new one, will run you upwards of $280,000 just for the tractor alone.
A
That's
bare
not
bones
counting
one.
your permits, which are a few $1,000s. Your license plate, which is a few $1,000s. Your insurance, which is several $1,000s a year. So the average truck driver who's an owner operator to start trucking spends about $350,000 the first year. Fortunately, he can deduct some of that every year for about 10 years. That's provided that truck runs the full 1 million miles in 10 years.
Yeah.
Continue, Mr. Gill.
Okay. Okay. Nationwide strikes lasted 3 days, with the federal government initially shrugging off the problem to the states. Now remember, this was during a time when Nixon was going out and Gerald Ford was coming in. Most of the protests were peaceable, but in Ohio, the governor deployed the National Guard to remove trucks by force and used tear gas to disperse reluctant drivers. Some leaders met with drivers. In Pennsylvania, a sympathetic Governor Milt Schaap sat down with Edwards and his colleagues on December 5th. Schaap, whose first job was driving a coal truck, said he would work to get more fuel allocated for the rigs, a promise that temporarily mollified the strikers. In a 3-hour meeting in Washington, D.C., Treasury Secretary Claude S. Behringer also promised relief, impressing Edwards. He is as honest as he can possibly be and fair. I don't believe the Queen of England would have received better treatment. Afterwards, with the help of a high-powered Coast Guard CB transmitter, River Rat broadcast a coolant message for several hours, calling it into the strikes. Most, but not all, obeyed. And then the trucks get organized. Because these brief protests failed to significantly disrupt the country's supply chain, government officials sat on their promises. With fuel prices still surging, independent truck drivers continue work stoppages, including a 2-day strike on December 13th and 14th, to keep as many trucks idle as possible. Zealous protesters harassed and sabotaged non-participating operators, slashing tires, shooting vehicles, and in one instance, stabbing a driver. Truckers realized they needed to organize, and almost instantly, dozens of independent trucking associations formed. Edwards himself became the first president of the Owner-Operators Independent Truck Drivers Association, but didn't stay long. JW was a colorful guy. He could tell a story with the best of them, but he wasn't an owner-operator, said Tom Spence, the current president. He figured out pretty quickly he was over his head. Protests continued in 1974. On January 31st, commerce ground to a halt as independents garaged their rigs and blocked roads. At times, they grew violent, dropping bricks off overpasses on the moving rigs. An agreement between government officials and a 6-man team of truckers was finally reached on February 7th. It allowed owner-operators to add a temporary 6% fuel surcharge to their freight fees, guaranteeing that truck stops would receive additional fuel to meet trucker demand. Acceptance among the different trucking associations was slow, but by February 11th, with the threats threatening to send in troops, most rigs were rolling back on the road. The strikes had caused 100,000 layoffs, several deaths, and nationwide food and good shortages. And that's the main point right there. So we're not going to get into the rest of the stuff about the movies and everything else.
And as another little side note, because of all the interactions between the feds and the truckers back then, when they actually shut down Washington, D.C., that is when the feds decided, hey, you know what? Let's really make truck drivers' lives hard. We're going to develop several things that ruin their lives, like the little DOT Green Book. like the law that states truckers can no longer travel in a convoy. It is illegal for trucks to be within a certain number of distance, and it each varies by state, and a certain number of trucks. So you can't be in a convoy no more. It
Yeah.
is a low class felony. So that being said, we'll discontinue the history lesson for the moment.
Yeah.
So in the side chat, I would like to see if anybody understands the basic supply chain before I start rambling on and probably wind up on a soapbox that Gil's going to have to kick out from underneath me.
Or hand you a bullhorn.
Well, you may have to break out your steel-toed shoes after about 5 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, Lori's coughing.
Yes. Yeah,
is it a dry cough or is it a moist cough? Moist cough like mucus and stuff. I know mucus coughs are bad, but it's better to have a mucus cough right now than a dry cough. Dry as heck. Ugh. Now, I'm the exception. I have a dry cough because I've been out in the dust and the wind's blowing out here.
Oh, no, Laura, you must stay. You must stay and endure with the rest of them. Okay. If you need rest, you go get rest.
Yeah. Now, did I see Will? Yeah, Will's here too.
Yep. And yes, Rider Dust, that is the only exemption. And you have to show you aren't part of a military convoy.
Something about carrying those 88s and the Humvees, the Maduses on top kind of clues Smokey into that.
No, not really. You'd be surprised at how many are actually still clueless.
Yeah.
Ohio's trucker safety division isn't actually part of the state police. It is part of the Public Utilities Commission, PUCO. But they are labeled as state police enforcement. But technically, they're Public Utilities Commission.
That must have been one of those dummies that tried pulling over my boss when he was still working for the Air Force. He was, the security police, and they were escorting 6 trucks with nuclear weapons on them, all back to front, and they had 6 black SUVs, escorting, 3 in front, 3 in back, and a couple of Humvees. And he said they left more than a few state troopers handcuffed in their cars.
Mm-hmm. You don't mess with that. That is a no-no.
Yeah.
I've hauled tank parts into Findlay. Yeah, it's fun. I hauled one trailer that was military, and I have no idea what was in the trailer. I was told it was none of my business, and the MP sitting beside me in my cab says, when it's time to fuel, you tell me what you want to eat. I'll have the guys go get it. All you do is fuel the truck. So what about a shower? He says, you can get one when we're done. Yes, sir. He was lieutenant, so I had the right to call him sir. But it was still fun.
Distancing? No, I'm not distancing. No, I'm distancing.
Never. We no do such things. Anywho, I'm not going to get on that topic tonight. Let's leave that topic for another night because part of this will inch toward that, and I want to stay on topic.
Right.
So I didn't see too many answers. I may have missed it. The supply chain, and unfortunately, the little pictures that I got to show you all aren't working worth a poop-de-doop. So, supply chain starts with management going, is there a need for this product? So your management team hires a marketing team. Marketing teams that goes out and asks people like us, hey, would you like this product? Hence TV commercials.
And so surveys.
And when the marketing team tells the management team, yes, there's a call for it. You're fine, Lori. Don't worry about it. Marketing team tells management, yes, there is a call for it. The management team then goes out and hires contractors to either make or grow or whatever the product is. And then the management team also goes out and finds people to buy said products. So far, we've got management, marketing, and basically research and development, as in those who are growing or producing. What?
Now, when you said people to buy it, you're talking about distributors, wholesalers.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
That one I'm not too sure about. So do I, Cecilia. That's why I'm doing this stream. So once the R&D has got everything set up and your distributors are buying it, then distributors have to hire a marketing team to, well, gee, there's another marketing team to figure out who is going to want to buy it. Now, the first marketing team says, yes, people want it. Second marketing team has to go out to different regions. Now they're going to say New York, LA, Dallas, and Detroit, and Chicago, and saying, this is a test sample size of how much we're going to actually need to build. So it's marketed in these 4 or 5 regions. And, it's sold. If there's a lot of demand for it, then they go back and tell the R&D, hey, ramp up production. But seeing as how the demand for it is small at the beginning of it, and there's not a whole lot of it produced, prices start off really high. Take a pair of jeans when they first came out. They were $25-$30. Now that they've been out for 8-10 years, about $17. They've come down a little bit in price. I'm talking about before this hit. And so on and so forth with many other products, your shampoos and everything. Now let's kind of inch closer to where we are right now. Right now, we're seeing truck drivers laid off. We're seeing fields plowed under. And why are we seeing that? I mean, if there's product, why aren't truckers moving it? Well, the thing is, schools aren't buying it because there's nobody at school. So they're not going to waste the money they have on buying product that they can't give to their students. Well, seeing as how the farmers can't sell it to them, they're trying to sell it to stores. Well, the problem is the stores ain't buying it because there's not too many people in the stores. Demand's going down. And product is going down because they're having to plow it underground. And this is just produce. But it translates to every aspect. And eventually it's going to hit the very clothing you're wearing on your back right now. Because as truckers get laid off, and there's nobody moving the product from the place where it's being manufactured or grown to the main distribution warehouse, which then distributes it to multiple sellers, retail sellers. All right, let's go Cargill. Cargill doesn't deal just with salt. They deal with meat and various other things. So Cargill's got, salt mines. Well, there's nobody in the salt mine because there's nobody allowed to be, too close. So instead of having 200-300 trucks a day in the salt mine pulling salt out and getting processed, they may have 10. So now your salt, the amount of salt being distributed to major warehouses and then distributors and retailers is dropping down. And well, there's another problem. The trucks that are supposed to deliver it from the warehouses to distribution centers, there's less truckers because there's fuel stops that aren't open because of what's going on. So you see this domino effect where one thing is affected, it affects every other part of the chain. And the weakest link in the chain is at the very beginning of it. If something happens to, no, I did not. Kathy, I did not see it yet. If something happens at the very beginning of the chain, stuff's getting plowed under because there's nobody buying it. That means the truckers that are supposed to be hauling it are now told to stay home. But those are also the same truckers, as a rule, that also move it from warehouse to distribution center. And so if they're laid off at the beginning, they're laid off in the middle as well, which means stuff's not getting to the stores. Now, right now, we do have enough drivers getting stuff into stores in multiple regions. There are some regions, unfortunately, that are starting to see the ripple effect from the beginning of it. Yes and no, Kathy. Yes and no. The government will wind up being a bigger part of the problem here soon. Because what's going to happen is the government's going to step in and say, we're going to buy all that produce. We're going to give it to these food banks. Oh, wait, they just said that last week. What am I thinking? Oh, wait, there's no truckers to move it. And there's less and less fuel being delivered because there's less and less drivers being able to deliver it. So that means the farmer's might not get his weekly dose of fuel to his fuel tanks to fill up his tractors, to pick the fields, to put it on the back of a truck that may not show up for a week.
Yeah.
And seeing as how it's got to go inside a reefer unit now, that means he's got to fill that reefer up. And he's got to monitor that reefer unit, because you don't just turn it on and walk away and leave it alone. You have to monitor it. And there's aspects of that people, what you got there, Gil?
Just a little.
There you go. There, it hides my ugly face.
Mine too.
Yeah, mine's worse. Anywho, so the coming food shortages that people are screaming about, and there's a lot of channels doing it right now. And I'm not trying to jump on that bandwagon. I said back in January, there's going to be issues. And Jill and I've said it in February, and we said it in March. And we've said it recently this month as well. And everybody keeps telling us we know absolutely nothing. But I spent the better part of my adult life dealing with the supply chain in the logistical aspect of it.
And that's part of what I did for DHS too, is line out the logistics for tactical response plans.
And believe it or not, folks, it follows a very similar plan.
If you notice on here, the even though transportation is over here on the side, transportation is between every single spot along the logistic route.
Sure,
Manufacturers have to ship it to the suppliers. Suppliers have to ship it to the distribution center. Distribution center sends it to the retail. Retail gets it to the customers. Trucks all along the route.
And not just anybody can jump in that old truck either. It takes skill. Contrary to people like Connie Chung, who said truck drivers have the IQ of a 14-year-old and are nothing but potheads. Sadly, I did know a few potheads, but they weren't stupid.
Yeah, and it depends what you're hauling too. Whether, because you can have your regular Class A license or Class 1, depending on the state. And then you have, on top of that, you have your just losing what the little things. Your certificates, like for hazmat, for different things. There are certain things you have to have for certain types of things you haul. Like when I was a fuel truck driver for a construction company, I had like 3 different little things, extra classes I had to take, and my test was buku long.
Actually, Cecilia, those should be at every single point in it, because distribution goes to every single point up in there, hence the trucks. Inventory affects every single point, including the customer. You have to have an inventory in your home. So every single one of those points on there reflect back to every single point. There should be lines bouncing between every single one of those. It's
Spiderweb.
One circle. It is a massive spider web.
Mm-hmm.
And if a bird flies through the middle of that spider web and breaks it, there's issues.
Mm-hmm.
And what people, trying not to jump on my soapbox, trying really, really hard, because I want to be polite. I want to be very Christ-like in my presentation here and not get angry toward others. But what these people are crying about, you got to open this up. You got to do this. You got to do that. Okay, let's consider that for a moment. Everybody go back to work right now. Everybody go back to work. Let's just say that those who have severe recurring issues from the dragon become okay. Even if everything opened up today, this very moment right now while we're live streaming here, every manufacturing facility, every meat packing plant opened right up. It's still going to take 3 weeks before you as a home user get to see the benefit of that opening back up. Because the stores now have to take inventory. They have to contact the manufacturers. Manufacturers have to contact their suppliers. Their suppliers have to set up distribution with transport. Then
And
they
if
have
some
to
of
set
that
up,
stuff is coming from overseas, that's going to take longer.
Solvi, Cecilia, and it is a spider web. It's not just a regular circle.
Yeah. Yeah. This isn't a chart. This is just showing all the different things that
Different
are involved in it. And this, like I said, transportation is in between a bunch of different things. Just, inventories are all over the place. You have, everything's connected to everything else here. So this is not just a simple ring around the rosy. The transportation is connected to this one, 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 to this one. Inventory is connected to this one, 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 to this one. Products are everywhere along. It's this is just showing you some of the stuff, and the things are on here are in multiple locations.
There you go. That is a better one because every bit of it's a circular just cycle. There's no one point that radiates everything. So to say that one chart is better than another is not true because it is an infinite spider web. No one single point can exist without other points in that web. It's not like a food chain where there's something at the very top. Even at the so-called top of this, which is your farmers, they have to get product to grow from seed vendors. They have to get product delivered to them in fuel. So, I mean, it's a very multi-layered thing.
Yeah.
And this one, you could actually say, is kind of upside down. Wouldn't the suppliers be at the top? Excuse me. So, there is no one chart that's actually going to make it look beautiful, unfortunately.
Yeah, and because like you had to be showing the suppliers. The suppliers are actually a customer to somebody else.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, it's.
Am I going?
No, it's me.
Oh, okay.
It's me having clicky issues.
Yeah, I mean, this is just something that's I just found here. Basically, trucking involved. I mean, all sorts of this. It's a complicated thing, and probably the biggest users of computers these days is an inventory specialist, because all the programs are interconnected. They send Home Depot's ordering from 40,000 different suppliers, and those suppliers are ordering from manufacturers. And yeah, it's everything's so interconnected up, and you take out one of the cogs out of that wheel, out of that motor, out of that gears, one of the cogs out of there, it screws everything up.
All right, here, let me try and illustrate it differently. All right, you go to your local store and you buy a roll of toilet paper, if you could find it. Anywho. They scan it, beep, and they throw it in the bag and you go home with it. That beep sent a notification to their internal tracking software that says, hey, we sold X number of TP. That then sends an alert to their distribution center in whatever state you're in that says, hey, this store has sold X number rolls of TP, which then sends an alert to their management. And then management says, oh, dear, we better hurry up and order. So let's contact Warehouser. We'll use Warehouser because I know they make TP. So Warehouser, being a major manufacturer, says, oh, crap. We've got 800 warehouses or 800 stores that need TP, but we don't have enough logs here to start the pulp process. We better contact the logging company and tell them we need X number of logs brought in, X number of trucks worth. Well, they contact the logging company. They say, oh, darn, we got to meet this production. We need X number of trucks here now. So now they have to contact trucking companies. Do you see where I'm going with this? There's no one end point, because guess what? Those trucking companies now have to go get fuel, which is hauled in by another company. So it's entirely interconnected. There's no one way to say, I can stop what I need right here. I can get everything I need from this place, because everything that place has been spiderwebbed from other places. Unless you grow it in your garden and pick it yourself, therefore making you the only transportation person needed to move it, it's all interconnected. And there can be, and it's basically a piece of glass. If it gets a crack in it, it can hold up for a little while. Did Lori say she was going tonight? Okay. Good night, Wowie. If it gets a crack in it, it may hold up for a little while. But if there's much more pressure put on that piece of glass, it's going to shatter. Right now, we are at the point of it being cracked. I seen a news report today. There are over 20 some. I'm not going to give an exact number because I don't exactly rely entirely on this news report, but it stated over 20 plants, food processing plants, meat, vegetables, and so on and so forth, closed down due to employees having the red dragon. Okay. If you've all noticed, certain bits and pieces in stores are starting to come back, but others aren't filling back up. Steve showed that. I've showed that. So have other people who have went and did videos of actual stores. So, okay, let's say they get the meat plants back up, because Trump did order. He wanted them back up and running because he foreseen the cracks in the glass. He's trying to keep it from shattering. Problem is, if they don't open up them plants ASAP and get something rolling ASAP, there will be a week or two where you'll see stores with very little meat brought into the store. And with all these people getting extra bonus food stamps, I know what they're doing here. They're going and buying steak. Man, I got all this extra food money, man. I can go out and buy me Pepsi and Coca-Cola, and I'm going to buy me some great big huge $25 T-bone steaks. I have a word for them, but I'll refrain from using it. I'm sure most of you can figure it out. So, comment? You have a comment?
No, I got something popping up here in just a second. I actually went and got the Walmart supply chain flow.
Cool. Thank you.
And hopefully it should. All right, let me enlarge it there. And so, and I know Walmart has a big, huge distribution center. There was an article on it. Was it History Channel or the Learning Channel, where they talked about, and where their big center is set up, surrounding it are a bunch of smaller companies that are set up there, that are in there always meeting with them. They aren't the manufacturing companies, they're offices, and they are, they meeting with the Walmart people, trying to get the best deal from Walmart, while Walmart's trying to get the best deal from them, and they finagle back and forth. And Walmart says, "Well, you want us to sell your stuff, you got to do this," and they would say, "Oh, we can do this and that." It's a problem, but their big, huge center, it's a nightmare in and of itself to us normal people who are trying to figure it out.
And yes, Cecile, that is only part of it. But when that main head depot office makes an order, it goes out to another warehouse, because they have to get their stuff from another warehouse. They don't just call up, "Hey, yo, Tom Blom. Hey, I see you're making cow panels over there. I need 250,000 of them delivered to X number of warehouses." Because you know what? Tom doesn't actually make them. Tom just sells them for several smaller companies that actually manufacture and deliver them to him at various costs. Then he sells it at a base cost to Home Depot. So the supply chain is infinitely larger than people realize.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Cecilia, I know you have a lot of background in this. it is, it tell us or not, can get very complicated, can it? From your side, where you used to work, it can get very complicated.
And Rebecca, I don't think people, I think what you were trying to say is they shouldn't be able to buy pop or candy. And I agree 100%.
Yeah. It's like the like WIC for mothers with children thing. There's only certain things they can get, and only certain things, certain types of thing. Like a cheeses, they only get certain types of cheeses. They have to get it. Yeah, and for milk, if they want something other than whole milk, they got to put in a request to get their card thing changed so they can do other stuff. So they screwed up on my daughter's thing. She's allergic to regular milk. She has to have the lactate, and they screwed up and said, "Oh no, you get regular milk." I can't drink regular milk. I'm supposed to have lactate. So, yeah. So she wasn't able to get the lactate. So I told her to get the regular milk, and I'll go buy the lactate, and I'll take the regular milk.
Yeah, Nana, I know people that are getting that right now about that exact much. And they keep saying they can't make it stretch a full month. I smack my head against the wall trying to figure out how they can't do it. So, I just don't understand how. But the problem is they're actually helping create a bigger issue. These people who are getting that excessive amount of food stamps.
All right. Can you put Cecilia's comment up there?
The last one?
The last one, yeah.
I keep forgetting I can do that.
Yeah.
It's from being on too many other people's live streams. I forgot how to do it.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
And Rustic.
And there's something we haven't addressed it, and she addressed it right in there. Customs.
Oh, let's please not discuss customs, because that's an entirely different ball of wax that's
screws everything up.
Well, one hiccup in customs can delay. All right, I need to send something up to Miss Lori. It's a little teeny box. It's not very big. But do you realize to go from US to Canada and vice versa, it's actually cheaper to send from Canada to the US on some things. But I'm sending 4 little wooden coasters to her. Here in the US, it costs $8. To send it to her in Canada is going to cost almost $30. And it's the same with manufactured goods that are coming from one side or the other. And it's called basically a tariff. They extra charge you so they can cover their taxes and other things. All right, Nana, yeah. Be safe. Hey, Copper Kettle.
Yeah. Take care.
Yeah, and I've dealt with customs. I went from the U.S. into Canada and been accosted by Canadian authorities who maybe get out of my truck and they ransacked the entire cab of my truck because I looked suspicious. Because I was 25 years old and had an earring in my ear. Oh, he must be a druggie. No, I don't do drugs. Thanks anyway for destroying my cab and making me spend 2 hours putting it back into place. So when I go back into the USA, I don't get a ticket. But they didn't care. Now, Copper Kettle, there's a lot of places like that right now, unfortunately. But anyway, back to our supply chain flow. And that's only, I would say that's only 10% of the actual supply chain. Because when that distribution center says, okay, we need, I'm trying, Kathy, I'm trying. Hold on. Oh, I've still got to check into that. There may be a way I can get under it, but I'm going to read all the customs things first before I ship it up there, because that way it's not costing her and I a fortune.
All right, Dave, I got a cool picture popping up here in just a second.
Oh dear. It's safe for all viewing eyes, correct?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Hey, That looks like some of the warehouses I've been to.
That is what a new Walmart warehouse going in. No supplies in there yet, but they're getting everything set. Look how big that friggin' thing. Look at these aisles going all the friggin' way back there. That thing's probably almost a mile long.
No, it's not a mile. It's actually a quarter mile. That camera distorts its view because it's a fisheye lens.
Okay.
Problem is, what you see along that side is 60 docks on this side, because there are multiple warehouses just like this one all over the US. To fill that warehouse will take 60 trucks 10 times a day for a month to fill that warehouse. That's just incoming stuff. That's not going out. Now they've also got stuff going out. So there's another 40 trucks on the other side of the warehouse where they ship it out, because one side brings it in, they stack it and rotate it as needed. There's a computer system in an office that says, hey, forklift driver A, go grab this, and this pallet, put it on trailer 1, this, and this trailer 2, so on and so forth for the 40 trailers on the other side. So what do we need? Well, buying as much stuff as you can is actually going to help exacerbate the problem. The true solution is for everybody to be growing a garden if they can and slowing down on the purchasing of stuff at the stores so the supply and demand equalize. Because here in a minute, people are going to keep panic buying things. The supply is going to dwindle, demand is going to raise, and the cost of everything is going to explode. What happens when we get stuff like that? We call hyperinflation. If we see hyperinflation in this country, you will be carrying a wheelbarrow full of money into the store just to buy a loaf of bread. Okay.
Yeah.
It will get bad. That's a nicely done warehouse right there. It's pretty full.
Yeah.
As you can see, they have product staged to go on the trucks that are leaving. They've got product on the shelves. And every time they take a pallet off a shelf, they have to inventory that. Just send it to me on Facebook, this Cecilia. I don't have a way to add you as a mod right at the moment. But, every time they order something or ship something out, they have to reorder it. But the problem is they don't order it by pallet. They order it by truckload. And in order for them to order it in a way that's actually cheaper for them, Rustic, that's a small one. I've been to some bigger. Some paper warehouses are bigger than that. But they have to order it by truckloads. And so they have to contact a company. Let's say Walmart does business with me and I'm supplying, I don't know, dish racks for, dishwashers or, kitchen counters. That's all I do is I manufacture the drying dish racks. I tell them, you know what? If you want to buy them at 27 cents a piece, you're going to have to order 25 truckloads. Well, Walmart, being the size that they are, say, okay, we'll do that, but we're going to pay you 22 cents. I say, well, if you want to do that, you got to give me X number of trucks a month. And that's the beginning of it. So now when Walmart sells one at a store, they put a little check mark in a box that gets event every so often gets sent to the distribution center. Distribution center says, okay, let's go ship the Middletown Walmart another, 2 cases worth. That distribution center marks in with a little ledger. We sent 2 cases over to Middletown. We sent 10 cases to Lebanon. We sent X number of cases to Cincinnati. Oh, we're down 12 pallets worth. 12 pallets is about a quarter of a semi because those things are light. They get about 40 pallets worth in there because they're usually double stacked, 20 pallets deep. So now they have to contact other distribution centers. Hey, we're running low. We already need 12 pallets ourselves. What do you need? So there's conversations between other distribution centers. Then they all get together, put together an order, and they send it to its main manufacturer or main warehouse down in another state, which I will leave nameless because it's got issues. The main the main office says, okay, we now have the ability to fulfill the obligation we have. Let's go ahead and order X number of truckloads and ship it here, here, and here. And we'll distribute it by our own trucks from here, here, and here. So it takes a lot of work just to get that one dish drying rack in your store for you to go buy. And all along there are fuel stops. There are grocery centers like, um, ooh, looks almost like an Amazon warehouse.
It's a Walmart.
That's one of the ones down south. But where was I at? Oh, there are places that are sending food to these truck stops for drivers to eat. So I mean, there's many different avenues for every single stop along the way, and I just want to make sure that's understood. Hey, Mama Z, I'm sorry I missed your video earlier. I will watch it later tonight. Question: shall we go towards using the railroad system again? Well, the problem is we use the rail system quite a bit, more than people realize.
Oh, yeah.
Because believe it or not, more semi-trailers travel by rail than on the road. I forget what the numbers were. It's been so many years, and I'm not even going to go look it up because it's almost heartbreaking to me. There are more truck drivers laid off every year, not right in this moment, but every year, due to more and more companies putting their trailers on rail cars, because it's cheaper to move a trailer from California to Chicago on a train than it is for a truck driver to move it.
The long haul truck drivers is being replaced by trains again.
And they don't make as much money as you think.
When you look at a train, you see all those big Connex boxes on there. That's a truckload.
Yep.
When it gets to the destination, there'll be a local delivery truck that they'll put it on a special trailer, and they'll make the delivery and bring back an empty cargo container.
Well, I know what it's used for, Cecilia. Remember, I drove truck for 30 years, so I'm fully aware of every aspect of this. You know, I started out as a regular driver, then I worked for owner operators, and I almost became one myself. And after doing about 2 hours worth of research, decided there's no way in heck I'm becoming an owner operator. There's too many rules, regulations, this, that, and another thing. So after 20 some years of it, I decided to jump into the dispatching of it. And that lasted about 4 months before I threw my hands up in the air and just said the heck with it, because the prices were getting slashed. Brokers were making more money than the owner operators, and that's kind of backwards. Brokers are there to move freight, not get rich. Truckers are there to move freight and live, not get rich.
Whenever I drive from California up here to Idaho and back and forth, going across Nevada, the rail system follows 80, and I see trains with 5 locomotives at the front, 4 locomotives in the middle, and 2 locomotives at the end. And I'll see an entire train for miles and miles of a train, and all it has on it is the Connex cargo container boxes.
And that's not counting the ones that actually haul JB Hunt, Schneider, Warner, and a host of other major trucking companies that are shipping their stuff via rail, because they don't have to pay a truck driver. They don't have to pay the insurance on their truck. They don't have to pay the plate fees. They're not paying fuel taxes.
And then every now and then I'll see a train that has a bunch of truck trailers on it. UPS, FedEx, and Old Dominion stuff, where they've had to put the trailer on the rail, send it across country, and when it gets to the other side of the country or halfway or whatever it is, they pull them off, and those companies send trucks over, pick it up, and haul it off to their local distribution center.
All right, this is how I would explain it to somebody right now who is an owner operator that is starting to falter. I would start contacting my brokers that I've used regular on a basis. And believe it or not, I still have 3 notebooks upstairs in my room that are nothing but brokers' numbers. I still have all the brokers I've dealt with. And I know if I called them and said, hey, this is Dave. Do you remember me? I used to work for this company. And 9 times out of 10, I can guarantee the resounding answer is going to be, yeah, hey, remember what happened to you? and I'm not going to go into the story right now, but you know, I'd be able to pick up loads. I would start reaching out to those brokers that you've dealt with in the past, that you've gotten very good rates from, and say, look, I will haul whatever you need hauled. I'll fill in the places where these other companies are failing. You know, I need to keep my rig moving. Not a sob story. Hey, I need work story. And if they're a good driver, they're a good owner operator, they've made enough contacts over the years that they can make phone calls no matter where they're at in the country and pick up a load, because those loads are getting far more frequent and there's less drivers out there hauling it. And for a while, it may get to the point where truck drivers are actually going to be able to start making $1 again at it, because they're going to be able to dictate the price again. When I started over 30 years ago, when diesel fuel was $1.20 a gallon, in some places only 89 cents a gallon, truck drivers on the average made 25 plus cents a mile. Now that diesel fuel is $2, $3 a gallon, if you're with a good company, you've been there long enough, you may make 50 cents a mile as a company driver. As an owner operator, if you can break $1.20 a mile, you're doing good. But with today's costs, just so y'all understand this, to get from point A to point B, you need to make no less than $1.85 a mile to break even. So if you're not making that $1.85 a mile, you're not breaking even. So if you haul for 1,000 miles, you need $1,850 just to break even. That's covering your fuel costs. That's covering your permits, your temporary tags, or whatever you have to get for that load, because there are numerous things. If you haul oversized, that triples the amount of money needed per mile. And right now, the people that are making good money are people running oversized, because they get to dictate their price. Right. And that's the big thing, Rider Dust, is not getting stranded. Because with some places, you know, especially down south, and I was going to reach out to some friends of mine down south, but I didn't get a chance to. So I was going to see if they actually wanted to send one of them up here on this panel tonight. But I kind of spaced it. I was babysitting today.
All right. This one I'm going to get up here is from Costco. When I was searching Costco stuff. It's kind of like a one from one of their presentations. Let me make it bigger here. So they have their vendors that send full trucks or less than full trucks. And they have their warehouse. They have their crossstock, whatever cross-stocking is. You could probably explain that. And then straight vendors to stores.
Okay, crossstock is easily explained. I am a shipper, and I needed to get to Gil's warehouse. But unfortunately, the trucks I ship on don't fit at his warehouse. He's got a little teeny warehouse. The biggest trailer he can get's a 28-foot trailer. So I'm shipping it out on 53-foot trailers because it helps me make more money. I ship it to a crossstock. Gil sends his little teeny trailers to that crossstock, and I unload half of a trailer into one trailer and the other half into another trailer. A crossstock is designed for shippers through brokers to get multiple loads shipped out using a smaller dock system.
Okay, this one here. Let me get this one set up. This is going to be interesting, guys. This one just gave me a headache looking at it. But it is the Spiderweb. Let me make it bigger, because unfortunately it was small. I'm making it bigger. It's gonna the pixels aren't good, but it goes here, there, ooh, there, this way, that way, that way, this way, that way, that way, that way, this way, yeah.
And you're stuck somewhere in the middle of it.
Uh-huh.
It looks like we're up at the upper right hand corner, and we've got 3 lines going out that are touched by 252 billion after that.
Yeah,
obviously that's an exaggeration, of course, but
yeah, there's I'm just looking up like logistic supply chain management. And the images that are coming up here are just totally, oh, geez.
Cecilia, you have not been to some of the docks in this country. I can tell you that with that statement. And I'm not knocking your statement. Maybe up there, the docks are bigger. But I've been to places like in New York City with a 48-foot trailer that you cannot park it in properly. They had to use a 1-inch piece of plate steel to get between the dock and my trailer because all I could put was one corner of the trailer in it. So not all docks are created equal. And that was picking up restaurant supplies to bring back to Indiana. That load paid me to my pocket 10 cents a mile after the boss got done paying fuel. I made 10 cents a mile after struggling for an hour and a half to get a trailer in there far enough for them to load it. Not all docks are created equal. There are some places here in the U.S. you can't get a regular sized truck to the city. No, you're not supposed to. I'll put it that way. With freeze laws and everything else. I have broken a few freeze laws to deliver loads before and almost got tickets for it. And those tickets are not cheap.
Yeah.
But as we're back to the point I was trying to make earlier, we are going to start seeing certain things drop off because, they're plowing it underground. My Walmart this last week when I went in there was plenty of salad stuff. But all the places that salad stuff comes from is down south. Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Kentucky. Not Kentucky, but the Carolinas. That stuff's being grown out there. There's stuff being grown out in California, which is starting to suffer again from its, I don't know what, 8th or 9th consecutive year of drought. All these things are compiling into one big ball of wax, and it's starting to roll forward. Things are getting plowed under, and as it rolls forward, when it hits the stores, we're suddenly not going to have any of it. So if you like your cucumbers or radishes, start growing them.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to go ahead and take that down.
Okay. That means they got to look at us again.
Yeah, they got to look at us. Yeah, it's this year. Several weeks ago, I put out a video about the 55-gallon barrels I was going to make for raised planter beds. That was just going to be an experiment this year on getting raised beds and stuff going on. With what the research I've been doing and the information I've been getting from my former team, coming up here in the next couple of videos I've coming up, you already seen me getting some of those big totes, those IBC totes, and turning those into raised planter beds. I've got 6 of them now at the back of the shop. I got several others set up. My daughter has several now out in her garden for raised planter beds, where we've cut it in half. So what was supposed to be for me a small garden is turning into a big production. And then I wasn't going to garden the 2.5 acres east field, but my neighbors are asking to use part of it and stuff. So yeah, we're going to be turning that into cornfield and pumpkins, watermelons, squash, zucchinis, patty pan, all stuff that spreads out. We're going to be doing that in the east field. So yeah, we're putting in a lot of food into the ground this year.
So again, folks, if you don't think what I'm saying is true, that's cool. That's your opinion. I accept that. I have no angst towards you. That's your prerogative. It's just like biblical stuff. I have my view. If you're different, then that's cool. That's between you and the Lord. From my perspective.
Yeah, it's like I'm just I wish on one of my last trips I'd brought half the canning stuff that I had up in my shop at home upstairs in it, and there's cases and cases and cases. I wish I'd brought then and one of my water bath canners here because I'm going to need it.
like I said, it's to say I'll look at it, but right, you're looking at it from one point of view. I'm looking at it from another. We've both been in the industry, but as far as your flatbed comment, there are some places you don't go pick up restaurant equipment on a flatbed. You don't tie stainless steel restaurant equipment down with straps. You don't. You put it inside a trailer and you load lock it in place. You can't put that on a flatbed. And most of it down here, I mean, maybe up in Canada, the rules are different. Maybe you can get away with it up there, but down here, there's a lot of different rules. That little DOT green book is nothing but a headache for a truck driver. And that's not the only little teeny book. There's an orange one too that I've had to deal with many times in my life, and it's the hazmat section. It's a book in and of itself.
I don't have it here. It's out in the trailer.
And both of those are several hundred pages thick, and they're little teeny books, and the writing is really, really teeny. I need a magnifying glass nowadays to read the dang thing.
When I also had to have the purple book, the NIOSH book to go along with the hazmat stuff.
Well, that's because of where you were at. Most
California.
Truck drivers, right. Most truck drivers don't have to worry about that book. Most. Not all, but most.
Yeah. Yay, Mama
Awesome,
Z's.
Mama Z. Awesome.
Got your meat grinder. Woohoo!
But be forewarned, people. And I'm not saying it because, excuse me, all these other great big huge YouTube channels are saying, prepare for the coming apocalypse. There's going to be no food next month.
Yeah.
Well, if there's no food next month, there's no food. So they were right. But I'm just giving you a fair warning that if things don't move back into place ASAP, then down the road, we're going to be SOL. Sorry, out of luck.
Yeah.
Because the products we need won't be in the stores. And that includes your dish soap, your laundry soap, TP, as we've already noticed, meat, canned goods, cleaning goods, laundry, your linen, your clothing, cat food, cat litter, cat dog, or dog food, dog stuff.
Yeah.
Everything is going to be affected. It's not going to be just one small section of the store. I wasn't going to say that, Mama Z. I really wasn't, because lately I've been condemned as a royal butthole. I'll put it that way. I've been called everything but intelligent, smart. Even though I've been pretty spot on from the very beginning, I've been told I have no clue what I'm talking about. So there's that. And that's okay. I personally don't care. I'm just tired of all the hatred and angst.
Yeah. I've had more than a few people, on Facebook private message me. How did you know this was going to happen? I thought you were an idiot about this. What's going on? I go, and I explained to him, hey, this is what I used to do. I was, emergency management coordinator. My parents were Teamsters. I know this stuff. And it's it's common sense if you don't drink the Kool-Aid.
I don't think I can. Hold on. I can't. All right. Did you want me to show that Rider Dust? Because it's not going to come up without the... Here. I'm going to put that one up before it disappears there.
Hey.
So, folks, and Rider Dust has always had good information. Very straightforward person. So, Highwayman Trucking Channel, go check it out if you would like a more in-depth person who's out there on the road, not just sitting here in their recliner saying, this is what's going to happen. Because I'm telling you, anybody that's out there driving truck that says, man, this is great, man, I can do what I want, and I'm making a fortune, is lying out his rear end, blowing smoke up yours.
I'll reduce this down.
One of the many reasons I got out of it when I did, amongst other reasons, I couldn't make a living at it no more. And I was a company driver.
Yeah.
And when I go from making $800 a week to $200 a week, I was paying more than that in child support. It was time for me to find a local job.
Okay. Hang on. I'm trying to look this up here for you.
You. My system, like yours, is pretty warm at the moment.
Yeah. Highwayman Trucking Channel. Copy. Paste.
And while you do that, I'm gonna go make me another cup of coffee. Somebody drank all my coffee, or my cup's got a hole in it. I'm not sure which.
I saw Titan up there looking at it. Highwayman Trucking. There we go. Let me throw his link up here. I can't. Yeah, I can't. I got to go the other way. So give me a second, guys, while I dig back to the other thing and throw it in here. And that is way behind there. Did that go in? Nope, it wait, it went wrong. Come on. Okay. Having a problem here to get Control C. There it goes. All right, so there it's in the chat now. That's his channel there. And yeah. So his looking at his channel. Yeah, he talks about several things. He's got several videos there talking about the red Hoosie and how it affects truck drivers. So let me go ahead and get back over here. So
you want to say hi to everybody?
Okay, so there's Dave, if you want to pop that back up large again. That's Highwayman Trucking. That's what his channel looks like. And yeah, he's got, talks about the you know what and being on the road. Yeah. So a month ago. So yeah, in the last, so his one's on, he started over a month ago on some of his Red Dragon ones. Yeah, it's weird at our Walmart here. Some things are thin, other things were, tons of stuff. Yeah, it's kind of weird. I got to go tomorrow. I'm heading back up to going to Sam's. I got to go to Home Depot. I'm going to try. Oh, Home Depot was this friggin' zoo up here. It's a logistic nightmare. The main aisles across right behind the cash register and stuff, they got most of their carts there with people's orders, online orders to pick up there. And it's just totally insane. You can't hardly get around that store, and people aren't coming to pick up their orders when they're supposed to come pick up their orders. I've seen some of the carts in there for a week waiting for the person to come pick up their daggone order. And I tell you, as a Home Depot shopper, it ticks me off that I can't get a cart because somebody's order's been sitting on it for a week.
I take my own little wagon now.
Yeah, well, when I got to use one of those big orange carts with the flat tops to load the bags of soil amendment off of the, because I don't want to bend all the way down and blow my back out and my knees out. So I need a high one that's the same height as my pickup. I just roll it off the pallets onto it and then roll it into my truck.
Right. So see, I understand what you're saying. I'm just saying here in the U.S., some of that's not allowed.
Oh yeah, it's definitely not.
Different country, different rule set.
And even some states, it's differently. It's different.
Oh, California, and I'm going to say that out loud. Hey, nuisance, California.
Nuisance, Governor Nuisance.
Because if you ask any U.S. trucker what the worst truck scale house in the entire U.S. is, they're going to tell you there's only one. It's California. It's called Truckee.
Yep. Right there, just as you come in.
California's trucking rules and regulations and literally restrictions are the most
draconian.
I'm going to say it out loud. Asinine.
Draconian.
No, they're asinine. They're just plain stupid. But
Governor No Sense. Oh, Michael, you're going to love this one. Back when I was at DHS, and Lieutenant Governor Gavan Nuisance was flying out of San Francisco, Oakland, and San Jose, flying around the state. And he'd fly out of one of those three airports all the time. And then when he heard that the governor had special privileges to go to a special lane, he goes in. Oh, I'm the lieutenant governor. I don't need to do. Started to walk through. He got body slammed. Yes. And his highway patrol escort went. He doesn't get the special treatment yet. He's a lieutenant governor. He's not the governor. But yeah. And now he's in charge. And he maybe wonders why I couldn't get out of California fast enough.
But, there's, and I know a guy who lives over in Europe, and I don't know him very well. I've only chatted with him a couple times over the last dozen years or so, who is a truck driver over there. And their laws are entirely different than ours. And I emailed him 2 weeks ago, and I haven't heard back from him yet because I wanted to see what's going on over there. Because he has friends that are in Russia and other places in Europe to find out what's going on. And I have not heard back from him. So I don't even know if he's still doing it anymore. Because it's been like 5 years since the last time I emailed him. So I may never know the exact ground level state of what's going on over there.
Okay, I'm trying to find something here real quick here.
But just be forewarned, people, that if it's not fixed ASAP, there will be rolling shortages of various commodities.
Okay, where'd that go? Oh, shoot.
No problem, Cecilia. I'll get to it. I just can't bring it up on this computer because it will overheat. And these other two devices are not connected to my Facebook.
And my computer's acting up here right now. Okay. Okay, so that's what I want to keep. I want to close this one, close this one, and close this one.
Well, Fish, I hope it doesn't crack off before you and Doc Bones and a few other people I know get the heck out of that state. Because one of the warehouses that I used to deal with is Land Farms. They deal in watermelons and various other agricultural products down there in Florida. They have distribution centers in Georgia, Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, all along down south, all the way up to here. And they are the primary supplier of Kroger's and Walmart's for watermelons. Now, you may see different names on the boxes, and that's because that's the way it's set up. But most of it comes through Land. And I know Raymond. I know his daughter-in-law. I know him quite well. I spent several months down there in Florida at their main office with them. And I was actually going to reach out to them, but I did not get a chance to. Because that way I could get an actual on-the-ground, reputable name up here to explain what was going on. So I boo-booed. Because that way you don't have to take my word for it. And I actually suggest you don't take my word for it. I suggest you go out and do some research on your own. Don't be like a lot of other people looking at the very first headline they see and going, this is it. This is what I've been waiting for. And start typing out in capital letters on their YouTube or Facebook channel without doing research. And yeah, I kind of got after Mr. Scott today because he posted something and he was misinformed. And me and one other person said, Scott, please do some research. This person isn't what you're saying they are. And he fixed it. So, thank you, Scott, for fixing it. If he catches this and says anything, I appreciate you fixing that. but more people need to do more research on what they're posting. Okay, thank you. So just do the extra research. And I don't know of a way a civilian person could find out true shipping information without being connected with somebody in major warehouses. My suggestion on that is to not just watch one store. If you see one store out of something and you see more than just one because you start going to other places, the last place to look for a commodity, even though it's going to be a lot more expensive, is your Walgreens or Rite Aid or whatever you've got. And I think one was bought out by the other not too long ago.
Walgreens bought out Rite Aid, and they also bought out someone else.
Yeah. So go check your Rite Aid or Walgreens. If they're out of it, chances are it's going to be out for a while. I'm not talking TP because, well, TP gets manufactured and shipped more often than not. It's a paper product. I can think of, let's see, 1, 2. So you got
Okay,
Procter
I'm no
Gamble,
longer sitting low.
Huh?
And my camera had shifted up, and I didn't realize it was cutting me off because I was doing some research for you here.
Okay. For TP, there is Kimberly Clark, Procter & Gamble, Weyerhaeuser. I can't think of the other one. It begins with a W too, but there's 4 main manufacturers of TP. And those also manufacture diapers and toilet wipes and various other toiletries, a lot for babies. So, the 4 manufacturers, they're still producing it, just running out of trucks to ship it.
You mentioned earlier about European stuff. Yeah,
I'd like to see a timestamp on that one.
Yeah. Evidently, that was one of the ones that I brought up from European, and where they're having problems supposedly not being able to go anywhere because truck stops are out of fuel or whatever. And here's another European one. That's definitely European language there, but the trucks are just, notice the one way it's.
Well, they're on the right side of the road. So
it says LO with the 2 dots over it, BAUER. This has got to be Germany.
Yeah.
Wellington, Schmitz, yeah, that's Germany.
It's German.
Yeah, that's it's Germany. And don't forget, in the U.S., sometimes like 80 will cross over each other. Same thing with Highway 5. One time you're this, all next thing you know, they've crossed over. It goes up the mountains and there's different things at different elevations, and they're now on different sides of the. You look over and it's like, wait a minute, how'd they get over there?
Why are they parked in my parking spot? Not that I have a car. Strange car parked in my parking spot. Not that I have a car and it matters, but
yeah,
they can't park very well either.
All right, I'm gonna
on top of the line in the other half lane.
For a yeah, we are. Yeah, Ryder Desk. Yeah, we've heard about that.
And I'm going to give it some time to see how that plays out before I do anything on it.
Okay, I'm going to drop this out.
There is a whole lot of very suspicious activity, shall we say, at the moment that is being talked on very black channels. And these are not channels I recommend, nor will I give you the areas to go look at these, because if you want to maintain your sanity, you will not go there.
No.
Okay, these are sites that after I go there, I have to go take a shower. I feel that dirty. It's disgusting. But there are certain forums and web chats that I have perused where I can get information that is not biased in any way, shape, or form, but it would be instantly hammered if it was put out here where public could see it.
Yeah.
I mean, it would get posted and be deleted within moments. And some of it's because there's a communist chart party that does that, but I won't say that out loud.
There's no even if they could, and put into quarantine.
It's black channels. That's all the further I'm going to say. Yes.
You've heard people talk about the dark web.
This is just one slightly level above the dark web, but it's not much different.
Yeah.
And I can surf it safely with no issues. I will not go any further into the dark web. I like maintaining my civilian life of privacy and freedom.
Yeah.
Because there are some things that I would search for in the dark web that would probably have on my door within a moment or two. Because I like information. I have no problem reading. And right now, what some people aren't realizing too is there are some things that come out of Canada to US and vice versa that people need. Some of it's car parts, some of it's parts for electronics that we do manage to produce here in the US, which isn't much anymore. There are a lot of other things for your needs that come out of another country, north and some of it south of us. And both those borders are kind of got a little teeny thing that's called a padlock on it, I think. Yeah, padlock to lock down. Yep, I watch North Country Off Grid from time to time as well.
Yeah, unfortunately, Chad's, a couple of videos he's put out, I'm getting is like, dude, you're going to the fear porn side. I like Chad and those guys, but it's just like, I don't know why he's putting stuff.
They're taking half notions and they're going off half cocked.
Yeah.
And they're only and Steve put out a video, Corsair Traders put out a video not that long ago, and he didn't say much. He just put up some pictures and they were very appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't know what I'm talking about, go check out Corsair Trainers. And it was 4 days ago? Wasn't it last Friday or something?
May have been last Wednesday, but yeah.
You know which one I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, it's the oh, this one matches what I want. So this is what I'm going to go with.
And too many people nowadays are doing that without doing a research.
Well, checking to see if there's more than one opinion.
And like I've stated, I want to see what the left has to say, what the right has to say, and then I might go dig a lot deeper and find out what's in the middle. Because you know what? The actual answers are actually probably a combination of A and B both. The actual answers. Sometimes it's not.
Yeah.
You have to look at where information came from and do your own deductive reasoning. Use what God gave you between those ears, the brain. Yeah, that's one of the reasons I really don't watch Marfugel too often. He is going into a lot of fear porn right now. And, at one time he was actually pretty decent. And now if he gets a nugget of something, whether it be true or not, he's going off 3/4 cocked. And, he's got people throwing money at him for it. Oh, that was great information. Here's $50. Oh, that's great information. Here's another 10. Here's 5. Here's $1.99. Well, you know what? Hey, I take donations too. It's right there. Hit the super chat. Gosh, crap. I ain't got one. Oh, well. Nice try. Anywho, as you can tell, I'm not doing this for money. If I was, my PayPal link would be splattered everywhere, and I'd be going every 5 seconds. Hit me up on PayPal, and I'll get you more information. Hit me up down there. Yep, that's it. No,
and you'd have a Patreon channel too.
I do have one, but it's dead. There's nothing there. There's nobody there because nobody's ever joined it. Not that I care. I just put it up as a placeholder. So if at some point in time that I can actually provide an added content, with like special videos or something for people, then I'll have the platform to jump off onto if it ever comes to that.
Yeah. Okay, I'm checking something else here.
Right. The biggest thing I have with a lot of this stuff out there is if facts scare you, then the facts aren't the biggest issue. It's what God put between your ears. And you need to clean it out and vet everything you read. If I went off on half of what I read, without doing the rest of the research, I would probably be at 100,000 subs right now, spreading nothing but fear porn. And I would not be a very good person because I'd be doing nothing but creating fear. And as a Christian, I'm not supposed to do that, first of all. Two, I don't want to do that. I would rather give information that is honest, sincere, hopefully helpful to somebody, or at the extreme very least, get them off their booty and doing some research and maybe opening their brain up to see what's really happening.
Rustic traditions. I like it on some of the channels that have super chats when they get one and they're like, you see them that they blush a little bit. They don't usually get super chats, and when they do get one, it's like, you shouldn't have done that. It's funny to watch them.
Kathy is sincere. When somebody gives her a super chat, she is honestly, sincerely, immensely grateful for it.
Yeah.
But then you get people like some that we've mentioned and others we deliberately have not. Hey, thanks, man. Kaboom. Yeah. Good job. Thanks. And all they're doing is when their camera's not, they're going, man, did you see how much we made tonight? Yeah, man, that was pretty cool. Yeah, man, we made almost $2,000 just in cash.
Until they realize that YouTube's taking a big chunk of that.
Now 30%.
Yeah.
Some people don't realize how much YouTube takes, but yeah, it's 30%. Yeah, I honestly don't. I really don't know what I would do. I don't know if I do want to be monetized, but because that little bit of ad revenue would give me the option at the end of a year to claim earned income. So I could go back to paying taxes for one, because, you know, as an American citizen, that's kind of my duty. But I could go back to paying taxes, and the earned income credit I could get for Charles, I could stick in a bank account in his name under an escrow account so he'd have college money someday. That's the only reason I want to do it, because there's a tax incentive for me in there. Yeah. Not because I think I'm going to get rich, because guess what? YouTube channels are not getting rich off money anymore. No. The ad revenue has been slashed below
poverty level.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like with me, you know, the only reason why I want to get monetized is so that I can pay for giveaways and turn stuff back to the community. You know, maybe get enough to pay for my StreamYard annual fee.
Oh yeah, StreamYard and Discord are eating me up right now, but I'm not asking for anything. Don't take it that way, folks. What I'm just saying is there is a cost involved when you go to the extent that we are, you know, trying to provide platforms and stuff. And there's several other YouTube channels in here that are doing it as well. And even though I'm doing it, my hat's off to you as well. You know, I didn't wear my hat tonight. I figured I'd try and blind you with the side here. Is it working?
Ah, geez. I got a laser blast there. Now I can really go full tilt on you guys. Oh. No, I better not. That's worse than my flashy thingy flashlight when I take my hat off.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, I'm not, you know, I'm going to continue to try to give something back to the community. It may never be much, you know, and it's like the medical bag. To me, that's not much. I would love to be able to fill that with things like a surgical kit, dental kit. I'd love to fill that thing so full that you would take 2 people to carry it. But alas, I can't. So I'm going to do the best I can to make sure it's worthy of somebody who wants to win it.
Yeah.
Well, they're not making lots of money. I know for a fact one YouTuber, I've talked to him about it privately, he has 3 million subs. He went from making $100,000 a year. He's now taking only $20,000 off ad revenue a year. Okay, he went from 6 digits to right around 5.
Low 5.
Low 5s at that.
Yeah.
Okay, he's not making any, and he's still putting out the same content. He's still getting the millions of views on his channel. He's just not making no money at it no more. And I've actually, you know, I said, hey, prove it. And he sent me a copy of his most recent pay invoice from YouTube. And it was a joke compared to what he used to get. He has since had to diversify. He now has his own company.
Uh-oh. Dave, is that you?
Ooh, I don't know. Did you buffer too?
No, I didn't see. I saw you freeze up,
Yeah, it must have been me.
but I'm looking around. I'm watching
Yep.
the other one over here. I'm still moving. Yeah, I'm still moving on the regular YouTube. You froze.
Yeah, it was me. Oh, well. YouTube's mad at me because I'm divulging their secrets. Haha, YouTube, I got you. Anywho,
How to get monetized? He helps out a lot of people. Yeah, how would be a nice one to get monetized?
speaking of which, for those who are interested, I do have, well, not yet, but I will have this month a copy of the Green Wizard's Guide, and I am going to be doing the audio version of it for him. So if you're interested in an audio version, let Ron know. So when we start getting this put together, you could be first on the list.
Okay, what's going on there?
Right. I'm reading
Yeah.
chat, don't worry.
Yeah, I was just checking something here. All right, let me start.
Right. And
Yeah.
that's one of the reasons I decided to start making, wood burn stuff for people. And I'm seriously considering starting to make sheaths for knives and pew-pews. That's going to take a little bit of an overhead for me. So I'm kind of debating on whether or not I really want to. I mean, no matter what you just try and make, it takes overhead. The wood stuff is a lot lower overhead than doing the sheaths and pew-pew stuff.
Yeah.
So I mean, if I sell something, great. If I don't care.
Oh, my video just finished editing. And my computer's cooling down now a little bit.
No, it's actually not supposed to be blocked. Why? Is there issues? Oh, I see.
Is the approved? Discord. Yeah.
I see she posted a new video.
Yeah.
Secret Midnight Roadside Herb Haul, this week's homestead video vlog.
Hey, Rustic Traditions. Facebook is a good place to sell chicks at. Chickens, baby chickens. Don't want to get hooked up there for pimping by mistake there, but yeah.
Which one, Copper Kettle? Because there's multiple channels in there. There's the one that says approved store info. That's just letting people know what that section's for. Then you got Doom Bloom, Prescott Caliber Club, which I'm going to remove. He doesn't come by and he doesn't respond to emails and phone calls for me, at least. Mega Survival Supply and Heaven's Essentials. So actually, I'm going to go ahead and kill that channel now because he doesn't come back. And that's one thing I will do. If people don't want to, give information or support the community in some way, shape, or form, they will be removed from that section. I won't kick him out of the whole Discord. I'm just going to remove that channel because he's not supporting you guys in any way, shape, or form by, even at least talking. They did guerrilla herb snatching. It wasn't Harambe, was it? I mean, come on. Harambe's had a hard enough life. That's not. I'm kidding.
Oh, so Facebook won't let you sell chickens, huh? But only eggs. Craigslist.
Well, I will just remove that one then. That's gone now too. See, folks, I monitor Discord all day long while I'm awake. That way I can make sure we don't have a whole lot of drama. I don't want drama in it. because drama creates division, division creates dissension, and dissension causes very, very bad actions by people. So I won't put
Yeah.
up with it.
Ooh, Costco is changing, effective May 4th, changing hours of operation and face mask requirements.
Going full face mask.
Okay, most U.S. and Puerto Rico Costco locations, gas stations return to their normal service operating hours. Special operating hours for members 60 and older and for disabilities will now be Monday through Friday, 9 to 10. Local jurisdictions may have mandated different please. Okay, so locals can still change it up. Costco members and guests must wear face masks or coverings. It covers both their nose and mouth at all times while at Costco.
And that's
This
not just
this requirement does not apply to children under the age of 2 or individuals underwear a mask or face covering due to medical condition. So that's on Facebook right now.
Yeah, let's never mind. I'm gonna shut up because boy, I'll get on a rant real fast.
Yeah. So
It is see what I see out there, but that's because I come at it from an entirely honest, open-minded, and clear-eyed view of what's going on.
okay,
You
let's
see
see if that
yeah,
comes
that
across.
under 2 years no mask. There is places that are saying under 10 you don't have to wear one. What on God's name? What in God's name are these people thinking? Obviously, they're not asking God for any help because their brain is off whack. No, that's why I'm glad Charles is able to play next door with the little boy next door who's doing a lot better. And he's past his quarantine period. That way, when I go to the store, I can go by myself and I'm not risking my son. Yeah, I'm risking myself, but I'm taking extra precautions. When I take my little wagon in the store and people look at me like I'm stupid, I'm not touching their carts. And when I get done shopping, I go outside, I take my gloves off properly, and I reach into my little baggie with stuff, and I pull out a sanitizing wipe and wipe off the handle to my cart so I can carry my cart home. Then when I get home, I disinfect my bags.
Yeah.
What was you giggling about?
Okay, so I had that spotted that thing from Costco. The next thing down on my Facebook was our broadcast.
Hey.
Yay. The next one was put out by one of my team members. Talks from CNBC. Talks about Gilead, Gilead, has a potential red dragon treatment. Dow went up 550 points.
Yep.
Then the next one down, someone posted a comical on the Costco thing, and it has a sign saying effective May 4th, all members guests must wear face coverings. The guy standing there with one of those big rubber horse heads on over his head. Yeah.
That used to be a meme funny many years ago. It's not funny anymore.
Yeah.
That's somebody with a horseman. I think I go out and make myself funny looking for 5 minutes.
And there are some other things here. Oh, I know you don't want to talk about this, and it's got markers on it, but there's this mime out there on Facebook, and I agree with 100%. Okay, it shows 2 people. One's wearing a face mask, one's not, and has an arrow of transmission from the person without a face mask to the person with a face mask. It says transmission probability 70%.
Yep.
Now the other one, the person now the masks are swapped, and it says from the person that is now wearing the mask to the person without a mask, transmission probability 5%. Then they both have masks on, and it says transmission probability 1.5%. Enough said on that one.
Yeah, that's what we've been saying for all along. That's what several other places, and that's what a few countries have done. Wear a mask from the very beginning. It does affect the outcome. I don't care, God love our brothers and sisters out here on YouTube and Facebook. Masks make a difference. I don't care what the WHO and the CDC have been lying from the very beginning. We've proven that by showing the fact that they've lied at the beginning, then change their story a month or two into it, and then they change it yet again.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. This has become a very political thing. Yes, I agree. There's a lot of bad information out there. I
Yeah.
also say that masks are important.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I was just looking for something real quick here on Facebook to see if it was up there, and it's
Urine analogy. I'm afraid it's probably a very PP thing.
okay. There's a from a friend of mine put this up. It shows the little Lego character, and it has the little Lego washing machine, and it says "Wash your hands." And the Lego character doesn't have any hands. His hands are in the washing machine going around.
And as long as you're keeping about 27 feet away from everybody else, you should be good, Ryder Dust. MIT did a study back at the beginning of February when everybody was saying 6 feet is a must. And Gil and I kind of scratched our heads for about 2 weeks on it. Then MIT came out and did a study. The average person, if they talk, that's 6 foot. Molecules and stuff coming out your mouth float in the air for about 6 foot before calming down. If you sneeze, it goes about 25 feet. Particles of it go about 25 feet in the air.
Instantly at 100 miles an hour.
In excess of 100.
Yeah.
And if you're on a windy day and the wind is behind you going away from you, you can triple that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, at least 25 feet. If you guys remember correctly, when they first came out and said 14 days is the norm, I said 24 days. Then about beginning to middle second week of March, other countries were saying 20 plus days for quarantine. Gee.
Yeah.
So I mean,
ooh, this is interesting. It has to do with YouTube. There's a site called redstate.com.
mm-hmm.
YouTube deletes videos of California doctors who argue for lifting Red Dragon restrictions.
Well, part of that is because some of those so-called doctors aren't doctors.
Ah. Well, so they have a doctorate in engineering, or they have a doctorate in economy.
Yes. I mean bull snot, not the other S word. I'm being polite. The bull sneezed, and that's what it looked like. Splatter.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, and I'm going to bring up Scott's post again because it's right at the top of my name. There's this lady, and I don't blame Scott for posting it the way he did. What he heard or read the review or report that she put out, and it triggered a moment for him. And yes, this viral expert. Well, she's not a viral expert. She's an antiviral activist. She's anti-vaccine activist. She's an activist. Her opinions are severely swayed to the point of being extremely negative and unfounded as far as certain things are going. So there is a lot of bad information out there. And yes, that bad information does need to get censored. I agree. Sounds kind of draconian, but we need to get the bad information out of here so people can get honest and real information and make proper decisions. You know, it's just like on my last Walmart video, somebody made the comment, why are you following their directions? Why are you wanting to walk the way they're telling you to walk? Why? I said, look, part of being a gray man is blending in. Why would I want to buck the trend and go backwards against the aisle? So I stand out like a sore thumb, irritating people. Now they're going to remember what I look like, and they're going to be able to pick me out. I'd rather walk with the flow, keep my head on a swivel, watching what's going on around me so I can make a better informed decision for my next move. That's the way we all need to be right now, taking in information, keeping our heads on a swivel, watching things unfold, and go from there.
Now, rustic traditions. The one about taking the kids were small. Some of the stores have put up signs. Here it goes. If you do not need to have somebody with you while you're shopping, leave them at home.
Yep.
You know, if your significant other is at home, leave the kids with them.
Yeah. Limit the number of people that are taking the risk.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Mama Z. There's a lot of fake doctors on YouTube, and a lot of other channels are following these doctors and going, "Did you hear what he just said? The world is collapsing tomorrow. Go dig your hole now."
But he has his doctorate in painting.
I've got a doctorate in BS. I mean, I can come up with doctorates. I've been classified as an electrical engineer by the deep state of Ohio because of my qualifications and background. So, you going on lifelong knowledge, I could have at least a master's degree, maybe not a doctorate, but a master's degree in electrical engineering. Does that mean I come on here and I say, I'm an MD? I have a master's degree according to lifelong education. So that means I have an MD. Can I come on here, grumpy MD, now telling you how to hit medications?
Oh, I would love to see you put that on your banner there under your name.
Would any of you guys continue to watch? No, you guys would run away laughing hysterically and saying, don't watch him no more. He's lost it.
Either that or your subscribers might go up. Everybody go, all right, what's he going to do now?
Well, you know, I should contact Dr. Amy and see if I can't get one of those little stitching kits or something and do a YouTube how-to on stitching. Grumpy MD teaching you how to stitch up wounds. Hey, Ryan.
Hey, Ryan. I like Ryder Dust's last one.
Mm-hmm. But she means Bachelor of Science.
No, business management. No, it is.
Some business managers are full of BS. Yes.
Yes.
I've met many in my many years. Going on a military scale with lifelong experience, if I were to rejoin the military, I could actually go back in with a master's degree and a rank of staff sergeant under electronics. No way in heck I'm going back into the Army. Too old for it. I'm past my prime by several
They'd
hundred
4F
miles.
you. They'd 4F you.
Probably worse than that.
5F you?
Probably 20. They'd ship me to some godforsaken country and say, here, repair everything over here. No, Mama Z, it's not. And I'm glad you repented of that. Thank you. I just walk up, if somebody gets too close, I go, and I just shouldn't force that on purpose. Especially when sucking on a cough drop. It tried going down the wrong pipe.
Okay, so say 4F. In rating for military fitness, 1A is good to go. 4F means you have something so severely long you cannot join the military. Whether it's like my dad had one leg though, which is 1.5 inches shorter than the other, and or something like that, or you had bad asthma. If you ever watched the movie Captain America, First Avenger, when he's in the beginning when he's trying to keeps going in, they keep stamping him 4F, 4F. It means he can't get in. Now my nephew, they tried to 4F him, and he had to get a special waiver for his asthma to get in, because his asthma would not affect him when he's out on a naval ship, out sailing in the ocean.
I'm 100% tabled. I'm nowhere near right at all.
Actually, I got an email from the military asking for those with
Yeah, they were trying to recruit people back into active service.
Yeah. Well, according to the state of California, 20 years ago, I became 32.5% disabled. 3 bulging discs, 2 protruding discs, 1 flippy floppy disc.
Well, if you quit going to the rave every other weekend, you wouldn't have that issue, doggone it.
Now, if I quit riding certain pieces of heavy equipment, which I have, yeah, that's what, tore me up.
So, has anybody got any questions on the supply chain? I think we beat that horse into the dust and resurrected it and beat it again.
Yeah. I don't think anybody has any questions yet. Let's see. If anybody's thinking of questions, I will again reiterate what I have in the last several live streams where I've mentioned it. Plant a garden if you don't have one, and you can. If you do have a garden, look at enlarging it. And like Anthony said, get all the canning jars you can, because they are disappearing.
Mm-hmm. Good grief, people. I don't think you need to scream outside.
There was only one today, and I walked away from
Happy? I pray Jesus comes before that happens. That's where I'll leave that comment. I pray Jesus comes before that happens.
So when do you think the military supply will demand ours at home? Good luck finding mine. I got a backhoe.
Keep rumming it in.
Yeah, right. Unless you can teach the new ones.
Oh, there isn't a rig I can't drive. I've driven everything from cement trucks to dozers to loaders, triples, doubles, tankers, flatbeds, reefers. I've covered the gambit. I'm not doing it again. My back is already destroyed from doing it in the first place. I'm not going to do it again.
The hardest thing I ever drove was a low bed with the double steering dollies on it, piggyback dollies. You want to talk about a fun one to try to back up?
What are you doing? What are you doing? Cat, cut it out.
Oh, Mama Zia, I hope you said yes.
Right now, Cecilia, whether you have a driver's license or not here in the state of Ohio, it don't matter. They're not issuing tickets for it because all DMVs, Departments of Motor Vehicles, are closed with the exception of 5 in the entire state.
Right now my wife's probably wishing we'd taken one. A friend of ours were moving to Texas last summer, but my wife is wishing we'd taken more of the stuff they were giving away.
Red or dust? I can. It's not fun. Especially when you got people trying to say, come on back. No, stop. And they have no idea how they're directing people. That's when I jump out of the truck. Will you get out from behind my truck before I run you to hell over?
Yeah.
I
I
got
did.
so sick and tired of dock workers trying to tell me, come on back. I got you. No, get out of my way. You're distracting me. I know what I'm doing. Go away. But I don't care what you're supposed to do. Go on. I'll put it in the dock. I don't need you telling me you got that much more to go. I can see.
Yeah. I watched my dad one time park back up a set of dual tandem trailers into
That's a chore.
yeah. I mean, it was everyone was watching me. He whipped around, he started backing up, and just chased it just a little bit. When it started to get a crate, pulled up a little bit and parked it. And one of the guys was looking at it, he looked at it, and he went out and he took it out, pulled out a tape measure, and he was only a half inch off between the lines. That's when my dad used to drive a whole bunch of trucks around and stuff for the motion picture studios.
Out small town.
Ooh, Kathy. Oh, gave away 15 to 20 cases of jars. Ouch. Yeah. The jars don't go bad if they sit in the basement or in the crawl space or in the attic.
No, they just get spiders and mealybugs and all other stuff.
You wash them out. I was watching two guys trying to double stack.
Oh, if you guys want to see funny videos, go on YouTube and type truck driver fails, vacuum fails especially. You will see, I do not know where these guys got a license in the first doggone place, but boy,
Cracker
they
Jack.
I'm not driving anymore.
Cracker Jack box.
I mean, there's 5 feet on each side of them. They still managed to take out the front of a truck. How on earth? Ugh. Yes, we did see that, Kathy. It is a tiny basement.
Ready. We got how far behind? Oh, seems to be like I show 17 watching now.
Me too. Woohoo!
Did everybody hit the thumbs up?
Just like that. That's all it takes. Just one of those, and all done.
Ow! Ow! You smashed it off.
Yeah, the worst backing thing I ever seen personally. I was at a truck stop. I just got done buying fuel, so I'm sitting in front of the fuel pump. Cat. She's getting feisty now. She's not looking for a boyfriend at the moment, so no more Mew Mews. Anywho, I'm sitting there. I bought me one of those personal pan pizzas from Pizza Hut inside the truck stop. I was getting ready to take the bite of the first piece, and I'm watching this guy in front of me trying to back into a hole that's in front of me. And I'm watching. I go to take another bite, and what on earth? And he's trying to sight it in first, but he doesn't think he can get it. So he pulls out, turns to the right, and now he's trying to blindside back it in. And I still haven't figured out to this day how he did it, but he took out the front of both tractors. And I just couldn't eat my pizza after watching that. It's like, how? Oh, I got to move my feet. She's doing circles. She's doing laps in the living room.
Yeah.
And I have no carpet, so she's sliding everywhere. Claws extended, looking for my toes for traction. She's not getting them. Nope.
Oh no, fishes and loaves. Okay. The talking about those truck driver fails, they're almost as good as the heavy equipment operator fails.
Oh, you mean like the guy that is loading a loader and he goes to dump at the truck and it flips the loader forward? Never seen one like that.
Or the one where the crane operator didn't extend his stabilizer. He picks something up and he swings it and off the edge of the roadway and down the hill it went sliding.
Yeah, I love them super truckers. To me, a real super trucker is Yes, I've heard that, Cecilia.
Yeah.
There are several cases here in the U.S.
Yeah.
But to me, a super trucker is a guy who's pulling a 53-foot trailer, which at the current moment is maximum length on trailer, and a 280-inch wheelbase tractor. Okay, for those who don't know, that's massive. That is an apartment on wheels. And these guys back those trailers and made for 48-foot docks or 48-foot trailers. They go literally from coast to coast every week. That's all they do. And I know a few of them. And they've got $500,000-$600,000 wrapped up in their rigs. And these guys have also been doing it for like 35, 40 years.
Yeah.
I know a guy that's got a good old-fashioned Diamond Rio. It's a 71 or 72 Diamond Rio that he is outfitted,
Nice.
and it is a work of art.
Yeah.
And it's valued at over $600,000.
Oh, we got 19 likes and 16 watching.
Woohoo! Yay! And my cat decided to lay down at my feet, looking at my toes like, food or fodder? Cat, neither. Well, if you quit running, you wouldn't be breathing so hard.
All right. It's 9 o'clock here.
Yeah, you probably need to go get a shower.
Yeah, and I got to get up early because tomorrow is the early entrance into Sam's Club for those over 60.
You old fart.
Yep.
See,
I need to get in and get.
I don't qualify for that yet.
I need to get in and get some more things. All I'm doing right now, I'm just getting stuff as we use it up. We got enough supplies. Just get stuff that we're using up. And
when I go back to Walmart this next month, I will try it and restock the things that I've used this month. Not looking to overstock anything.
Yeah. The last time I went, they were out of the one thing I needed to get. That's the veggie straws with the ranch flavor on it, because the grandboys, they just love that, and it calms them right down. So hopefully they'll have some more bags in tomorrow. Get a couple bags. I've gone through 2 bags over the last couple of weeks and have them in there. They got the ones with the sea salt ones, but the boys don't like that.
And Cecilia, to your point, there's actually 2 cats in New York City that were recently on the news.
Yeah.
Oh, we lost a couple down to 16 again.
Mine just jumped to 17.
Oh.
And 20 likes. Woo! 20 thumbs up. All right.
Yay, let's show a party. Ow, that hurts. Never mind.
All right. Anyways, I got to get going. So.
All righty, folks. Y'all be safe. God bless. We'll catch you the next time. Hopefully, we gave you some good information. If not, we'll try harder next time. Be safe, y'all. God bless.
Bye.